The legacy of leaders lives forever. Their words are remembered for centuries. Their actions can inspire generation after generation to follow. Leadership makes its mark. Leadership is why I'm involved in the Jewish National Fund. Leadership is why I started the Gould Legacy Society, which honors those who to commit to leaving Jewish National Fund, a gift when they pass on. The fund is building an endowment because I feel strongly that to create a leader of tomorrow, to help Jewish National Fund continue to do the hard things, the big things, the things that will last forever, we must be leaders today. We must make sure that Jewish National Fund's future is strong. Always ask yourself, are you doing enough today so that others can do more tomorrow? And always know that we are strengthening Israel as partners with the people of Israel on a scale that far surpasses any other organization. I have been fortunate to attend many dedication ceremonies in Israel for many Jewish National Fund projects. I have met Israel prime ministers, defense ministers, mayors, and other leaders of local places. Without exception, every single time, every single one of them came to me with tears in their eyes, with sincerity shining on their face, grateful for what JNF is doing, for what we are doing. These are busy people, yet they wanted to be there. They wanted to be there to express their appreciation. And I humbly convey their appreciation from heads of state, from generals from armies, to you today. I tell you, this organization is leading. This organization is making its mark in Israel and in the world, a lasting mark in Israel, a lasting home for the Jewish people. Leadership is why I am with JNF Future, the Jewish National Fund's division that is cultivating the next generation. When I go with them to Israel and see how Israel affects them, it brings tears to their eyes and smiles to their faces. It opens their minds and their hearts, and it transforms them into passionate supporters of the land and the people of Israel. When young people step on soil in Israel for the first time and breathe Israeli air and meet Israelis face to face, they feel the JNF impact for the first time, and they become leaders. They see what the impact from the Arava, when farmers from around the world learn Israeli techniques that protect the environment, conserve resources, and help put food on their family's plate. To the Western Galilee, where Jewish National Fund is helping to revitalize the economy, develop housing sites, building parks, and making a place to call home. We are enabling people to provide for their families and big dreams as partners with us. I've stood with JNF participants on Ammunition Hill, where the pivotal battle of the 1967 Six-Day War was fought. The battle that reunited Jerusalem. I supported the restoration of this site. Why? It's the only site dedicated to this momentous battle, so that we could see a symbol of our 3,000-year struggle to live as a free people in our own land. So that we could understand our responsibility and safeguard our Jewish state. So that the next generation knows Jerusalem is united, Jerusalem is ours, and Jerusalem is mine. And when I am with these young people, I see firsthand how they continue their evolution as leaders, leaders of this tremendous organization, Jewish National Fund. I see them on our vision of strengthening Israel and strengthening us. I see them teaching others about the importance of Israel in their lives and in our lives and in proud Jews everywhere. And it is working. We are winning. Our growth in this organization is coming from the 25 to 40-year-old group more so than any other group. Recently, I had the privilege of making another contribution to leadership and legacy. I now serve on the board of the JNF Baruchin Center, which is making grants, as Matt Bernstein told you about. But why? Why did we set aside $100 million to support Israel education and engagement? Why that one thing? So that our next generation of Israel supporters will be nurtured and will thrive, so that they will have the tools to imagine and to inspire, so that they will have the tools to lead. To show you a glimpse of a true future leader looks like, I want to introduce you to Sam Goldberg. He is one of the few people that was an original JNF Future 10 years ago. Sam?
My people. You know, when they said I was going to say a few words, they didn't tell me that everyone would be a little hungry, maybe a little cold, and that such good-looking and well-spoken people would go before me. But hey, we're a family, right? And a beautiful, smart, and very powerful family. And when I think about why I'm involved with the Jewish National Fund family and what it means to me, I think of how I got a little help from Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, who described the Jewish people and our purpose, which is to show what it is to create a small clearing in the desert. A small clearing in the desert of humanity where freedom and order coexist, where justice prevails, the weak are cared for, and those in need are given help, where we cherish life. Those words sum up the Jewish National Fund, and I am honored to be a part of it. Bruce mentored the JNF Future Leadership Trip I went on in 2011. We planted saplings on the edge of a forest that was hand-planted more than 60 years earlier in memory of people who died in the Holocaust. Once again, we replanted hope in the face of destruction. With soil on our fingertips, we talked about our ancestors, how they would feel to see their descendants planting trees and building a nation. Imagine your ancestors. Imagine them sitting next to you. Look into their eyes. Maybe they reach to you and grab a little piece of punim. Maybe it's a Bubby classic, a two-handed grab of punim. What would they say to you? And when motor control returns it to your face, what would you say back to them? Now imagine your descendants 1,000 years from now. What would you want them to know about our time? What would you want them to know about what we are doing? 1,000 years from now, we want our descendants to know an Israel stronger than we can imagine, just as our ancestors could barely imagine the Israel we have today. The difference between wanting that future and achieving it is leadership. It takes action. It takes guts. It takes a community of dedicated leaders willing to make difficult choices. And it takes real risks. So why are we here today? If you are here, it is because you know it takes the Jewish National Fund. Max Levin knows. Veterans of the IDF know. Veterans of Haganah know. We had to earn the right to sing Israel's national anthem, Hatikva. We know what it took, and we know what it takes to declare Am Yisrael Chai, the nation of Israel live, The people of Israel live. The Jewish people live. Because of JNF, we know what it's going to take to keep our dream going. We know what it takes to be a leader, to make a mark. That mark is why we are here today. Mark Twain said, our buddy Mark Twain, he said, the two most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. I've tried, but I cannot remember the day I was born. But I do know the day I found out why. I was in Israel when I realized my life's mission is to be a part of Israel's history, a meaningful part, to make Israel's future bright with Jewish national funds. Now I'm a part of JNF Future, and I hope that someday I'll have earned a place as part of JNF always. Like the legacy-building leaders we hear from today, the ones who cherish life and inspire me every day. Here's to our future, now and always.